Good afternoon. This is a public hearing required by law and authorized by the New York Power Authority's Board of Trustees on a proposed form of contract for the sale of hydropower to Big Heart Pet Brands, Inc. and Rosina Food Products, Inc. My name is Michelle Stockwell. I am the authority's Senior Assistant Corporate Secretary. New York State Public Authorities Law, Section 1009, sets forth procedures for executing certain contracts negotiated by the authority. First, prior to the hearing, it requires that notice of the hearing be provided. Therefore, a notice was sent to the governor, the Senate's President pro tem, the Senate Minority Leader, the Senate Finance Committee Chair, the Assembly Speaker, the Assembly Minority Leader, and the Assembly Ways and Means Committee Chair. In addition, notices appeared once a week for the 4 weeks leading up to this hearing in the following newspapers: Niagara Gazette, Buffalo News, Buffalo Business First, Niagara County Tribune, Albany Times Union, and Dunkirk Observer. The public was also given access to the proposed contract on the authority's website during the 30-day period prior to today's hearing. After the hearing, the public will be given access to the hearing transcript once it is completed at www.nypa.gov. The next step in the process, set forth in Section 1009, will be for the NYPA trustees to reconsider the proposed contract in light of public comments. Once the trustees have completed their final review, the contract will be forwarded to the governor for her consideration and approval. If you plan to make an oral statement at this hearing, I ask that you please indicate on the sign-in sheet. Also, if you have written statement, you can mail or email the corporate secretary at 123 Main Street, 9-B, White Plains, New York, 10601, or email at secretaries.office@nypa.gov. Written statements may be of any length and will appear in the record of the hearing in addition to oral statements. The record of the hearing will remain open for additional comments to close of business May 16, 2025. At this point, I would like to introduce Emily Alkowitz, Director of Power Contracts and Tariffs, who will provide additional details on the proposed customer contract.
Thank you, Ms. Stockwell. Good afternoon. I'm Emily Alkowitz, the Director of Power Contracts and Tariffs within NYPA's Customer Solutions Department. I'm here today to present a summary of the proposed contract for Big Heart Pet Brands, Inc., as well as a proposed contract for Rosina Food Products, Inc. Regarding the two proposed contracts, under Public Authorities Law, Section 1005, subsection 13, the authority may allocate and sell directly or by sale for resale 250 megawatts of expansion power, known as EP, and 445 megawatts of replacement power, known as RP, to businesses located within 30 miles of the Niagara Power Project, provided that the amount of EP allocated to businesses in Chautauqua County on January 1st, 1987, shall continue to be allocated in Chautauqua County. At their March 25th, 2025 meeting, the NYPA trustees approved a 700 kW allocation of EP for the term of 10 years to Big Heart Pet Brands, Inc., based on commitments of creating at least 17 new full-time jobs and making a capital investment of at least $52,660,000 at the Buffalo facility that will use the EP allocation. The trustees also provided authorization for a public hearing in accordance with the Public Authorities Law 1009 on a proposed form of contract with Big Heart that would, along with Authority Service Tariff Number WNY2, apply to the sale of EP to Big Heart. Big Heart is a manufacturer and distributor of pet food products, which have been produced at its Buffalo site since 1957. The company has a portfolio of brands, including Milkbone, Meow Mix, Pepperoni, Canine Carryouts, and Milo's Kitchen. The Buffalo site currently employs 283 full-time positions. The company is proposing to relocate its soft and chewy dog treat brand to a larger space within its facility and add processing equipment to support a new production line. The project would subsequently convert current soft and chewy processing equipment to support the production of dog biscuits. The project would support significant expansion of the company's soft and chewy product line. Big Heart anticipates the project to increase its dog biscuit capacity by approximately 20,000 tons. The company's expansion would involve a capital investment expenditure of at least $52,660,000. This facility includes construction costs, the installation of 4 new silos for storage, and construction of an on-site meat storage freezer. The site of the proposed expansion is located within a disadvantaged community. According to the company's application for Hydropower, they have been considered under NYPA's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Evaluation and Incentive Plan, approved by the Board of Trustees on December 7th, 2021. Big Heart is planning to begin the initial phases of the project this year, with additional phases targeted for completion in 2027. At their March 25th, 2025 meeting, the NYPA trustees also approved a 4,500 kW allocation of EP for the term of 10 years to Rosina Food Products, Inc., based on commitments of creating at least 95 new full-time jobs and making a capital investment of at least $50 million at 2 of its West Seneca facilities that will use the EP allocation. The trustees also approved authorization for a public hearing in accordance with the Public Authorities Law 1009 on a proposed form of the contract with Rosina that, along with the authority service tariff number WNY2, would apply to the sale of EP to Rosina. Founded in 1963, Rosina manufactures a wide variety of Italian-style frozen food products, including meatballs, sausage, pasta, eggplant, and pizza toppings. The expansion would be at its 2 West Seneca manufacturing plants. These 2 plants have a combined 425 full-time jobs. Rosina is proposing a 2-phased expansion project at its West Seneca facilities. Phase 1 would include a 32,000 square foot expansion of its frozen meatball production plant at 3100 Clinton Street, and phase 2 would include a 30,000 square foot expansion of its tortellini and ravioli manufacturing site at 75 Empire Drive. The expansion project would significantly increase production volume, which would reduce the need for out-of-state co-manufacturing vendors. The meatball plant expansion would require equipment purchases, including grinders, mixers, meatball formers, ovens, freezers, and packaging equipment. The pasta plant expansion would require expenditures including mixers, extruders, tortellini and ravioli formers, blanchers, freezers, and packaging, along with boxing machines. In all, the capital investment expenditures include $35 million for facility construction costs and $15 million for new machinery and equipment. Rosina is planning to begin the initial phases of this project this year, with additional phases targeted for completion in 2026. The following is a summary of pertinent provisions in the proposed contracts. The contracts provide for the direct billing of all hydropower supply charges and all New York Independent System Operator, Inc. NYSO charges and taxes. The contracts include customer agreed upon commitments with respect to employment, capital investment, and power utilization. Under the contracts, the authority may reduce or terminate the allocation if employment, power utilization, or capital investment commitments are not met. Relatedly, The contract includes an annual job reporting requirement and a job compliance threshold of 90%. Should the company's average annual employment fall below the compliance threshold of the 90% of the employment commitment, the authority may reduce the amount of the allocation. The contract provides for the company to perform an energy audit at its facility at least once within 5 years, helping to ensure that the customer used the hydropower efficiently. To assess non-payment risk that could result from the direct billing arrangement, this contract includes commercially reasonable provisions concerning the authority's ability to charge late payment fees and to require deposits in the event of a customer's failure to make payment for any 2 monthly bills. These contract provisions are consistent with other authority direct sale contracts, including the Recharge New York sales contracts. The contract provides for the collection of a zero emission credit charge and a renewable energy credit charge to allow the authority to recover costs it would incur relating to its purchase of zero emission credits and renewable energy credits attributable to the customer's load. The contracts will address the allocation along with the authority's service tariff WNY2, which specifies rates and other terms applicable to the EP and RP allocations. Transmission and delivery service for the allocations will be provided by the customer's local utility in accordance with the Utilities Public Service Commission approved delivery service tariffs. In conclusion, as Ms. Stockwell stated earlier, the authority will accept your comments on the proposed contracts until the close of business on Friday, May 16th. I will now turn the hearing back to Ms. Stockwell.
Thank you, Ms. Olkowitz. Since no one has signed up to speak at the hearing, we will recess and reconvene as speakers arrive. Good evening, everyone. It's now 6 p.m. As I previously stated, the record of the hearing will remain open for additional comments through close of business Friday, May 16, 2025, the May 15, 2025 public hearing on a proposed sale of Hydropower to Big Heart Pet Brands, Inc. and Rosina Food Brand Products, Inc. is now officially closed. Thank you, everyone, and good night.